at that point, like if you're mad, you can be mad.
Yeah.
But understand that in this whole dynamic, I've been honest. I've kept it real. You still want to go down this path and you're mad at me? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I find sometimes it's hard to be in the situation where the vibe has turned
Yeah. Oh God.
in the relationship, and now there's like this weird
Awkward.
Like, what do you do now?
Yeah.
What do you do now that you've set this boundary? Maybe this person's really upset with you, and like it's changed the plans.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's happened with me where you know, maybe there's been like an internal conflict. And it happened to me around a huge trip.
Yeah.
You'll remember this trip, huge trip.
Oh, yeah.
And we were going to this, you know, really beautiful place. And I had invited somebody where I should have asked. Like, I was definitely in the wrong. I sort of didn't think that it was going to be a big deal that I added somebody to the trip.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be the biggest deal.
Yeah.
And the original person ended up not coming on the trip, who I had made the plan with because I had invited somebody else, and they were furious with me. And I understand it now, but then
at that time,
I didn't really understand what I did wrong. But it became this huge thing that affected the friendship for a really long time. And like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, what do you do then? Like, how do you sort of reel it back in? And I know we talk about a lot about accountability and like being accountable for your actions. What do you do when you are accountable?
Yeah.
And you say like, yes, I've done you wrong. Yes, I've done you dirty. Yes, I've changed the vibe. Yes, I've changed the friendship. What do you do when like they don't accept it?
So what I'm going to say is, this is just my perspective. At that point, I feel like the work then is on the other person. Because if you have shown up in a way where you have been honest, you have recognized where you maybe made a mistake unintentionally, where you've held yourself accountable. For me, if that person still wants to be mad, then there's other things happening. Because if there was already an established relationship, if you and I, obviously we're best friends, right? You do something where unintentionally, but I'm like, what the hell? Like, why would she do this? Da, 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 da. And you're like, Aish, I'm really sorry. Like, I actually didn't mean to do that. This is what happened. This is why I did it. If I'm going to stay mad at you, if I'm going to stay mad at you and not accept that you've taken accountability, then I have then actually the issue is mine.
Yeah.
Because I should know that the nature of our relationship and our friendship would never have you in a place where you would do something intentionally to harm me or do something that would hurt me. And if you did intentionally or unintentionally and you take accountability and recognize where you're sorry and I'm still hanging on to that and I still want to ruin the vibes, I feel like you should be absolved. And now it's my problem.
Yeah.
That's me.
How do you deal when you feel like the other person hasn't really taken accountability, even though they said that that they've done it? You know what I mean? If they're like, well, you know, I'm sorry, but you feel like they're not sorry.
But
and you're kind of like, something about this feels off.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you're just sorry because
you're just pacifying me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're pacifying. Yeah.
Girl, don't ever pacify
Yeah.
me. Because that will take me into the depths of hell. Yeah, like what do you do in that regard? Like how do you kind of get over yourself in that situation? Because if you're still kind of harboring, do you, because I know that you know, tend to deal with things, but like I know that some people choose to ghost.
Yeah.
You know, if they're still feeling that way, like some people choose to ghost
and be like,
and just, you know, cut you off. How we talked about cutting people off before. But do you confront them? Like, is that the point where you know, throw off the gloves?
Yeah, I'd be like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, I'm going to make an assumption that this is obviously like, this has been a solid friendship.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth salvaging. I feel like if there's been longevity in the friendship, I do think it's worth trying to fight for it. If someone is pacifying you and they're not taking accountability, again, I think the nature of a relationship would be like, listen, I know you said you're sorry, but I'm going to be honest. I actually feel like you're BSing me a little bit, right? Like maybe don't say it that way, but just feel like
or say it that way.
Or say it that way. Yeah, whichever. Yeah, true.
Sometimes people need to hear that.
Yeah, like you're full of it, right? You're out here doing the most. But I don't know. I feel like, and not, part of that part then becomes like the toxic, like, were you ever really my friend? Or like, was because we were in a group dynamic that you liked me, right? Like you didn't, right? Because
you didn't really like me like me.
Yeah, you didn't like me like me. You liked me because I was in the friend group, but you didn't like me like me. So like this
we aren't really friends.
Yeah,
really
right?
Friends. We're acquaintances.
Yeah, where you then discover that amidst a little bit when the vibes are off, right? Like this is where you kind of start, I would say in a situation where the vibe is off is where you start to see where you actually stand with the people in your friend group.
Yeah.
Right? Like, are you actually a valued member, or are you just liked because you are connected to someone or because you're originally part of the group? Like you're part of the original, but it doesn't mean that they still want you to be in there. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of shift. And like you said, as you bring more people or add people, right? What does that do? Because again, we've seen the addition of people and how that like
the additional ingredients.
Yeah,
to the
and
pot
how
can
and
sometimes spoil it.
Yeah, 100.
Sometimes can spoil the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Now, do you appreciate brutal honesty from people, or do you like people to spare your feelings a little bit more?
I would prefer the brutal honesty, because I feel like when people spare your feelings, then the way they act around you is like not necessarily genuine. You know what I mean? Like if you're like, yo, listen, Aisha, you said this or you did this and I didn't like that. It doesn't mean I'm not going to feel a type of way like, oh,
Yeah.
But I have to appreciate that. I have to appreciate the honesty versus the like, well, when you kind of do this, you know what I mean? Like because then I'm thinking, no, there's more to that. Like there's more to this scenario. I personally prefer brutal honesty. Doesn't mean I want to hear it. You know what I mean?
True,
like,
true.
Yeah. Like
that's like me, like being a drama queen.
Yeah, like I don't want to hear it.
Soften
but like,
the blow,
right?
Maybe buy me a drink,
right?
Buy me a drink first,
and then
tell me I'm crap,
right?
You know what I mean? But like, buy me a drink.
Yeah, I would
always
prefer that.
Buy me a drink.
Yes,
first, vodka on the rocks.
Yeah,
or a gin, depending on the day. Make it good.
Yeah,
top
tier. Yeah,
has to be top shelf.
Yeah, very top.
And
shelf.
then
we can have the
deserve
conversation.
the blow.
Yeah,
then I deliver the blow.
Yeah, but I think even in the brutal honesty, there must still be respect and kindness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
And again, I think it goes back to the nature of the friendship, the relationship. If there is existing, like there must be existing respect. And so again, the brutal honesty is going to be difficult because even if you're delivering it, it's still difficult, right? Because I'm like, I don't want to hurt my friends' feelings. I don't want people to be like, oh, Aisha said this to so-and-so. You know what I mean? Because again, brutal honesty could throw a vibe off. I tell you something, you tell like, you don't know why Aisha said it. Like, and then it becomes, oh, Aisha always is like this. And then you're like, ew, so you did it, right? Like, then comes the unpacking and the revealing of how people really feel about you in a friend. Like, yo, a friend group can be solid.
The unpacking can be treacherous.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a rapid fire for you.
Okay, go.
Because you gave me a rapid fire.
Okay, yes, last one.
When we were doing toxic. We don't have flags today because it's not flag related.
No, it's not flag related.
But I do have a rapid fire that I do want to ask you. Okay. So, and this one, I know you already. You kind of do a little bit of both of this. But ghosted or roasted? Do you believe in like ghosting the person or do you believe in tearing them up?
I'm going to ghost. Yeah, I'm going to ghost.
I am 100.
Yeah, because again, you know me. Like, am I going to go down this path where I'm like, no, man, I'm just, bye. Bye.
Whereas I'm going to tell you what I think
first, and then ghost.
And then I'm going to ghost you.
No, I'm going to operate with the, like, I've had enough. And again, you've seen it. Like, once you take me that place,
I know.
I'll be cordial. I'll say hi. And I'm going to keep it.
But you no longer exist.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it moving.
What about texting or talking it out?
I feel like if there needs to be a talk out for sure. Like a talk out because texting can be misconstrued.
So much.
Right?
I hate people that want to talk about everything.
Yeah, a text. Yeah. Let's have. I know you do. I know you do.
Because, first of all,
I can't text that much.
I can't text that much.
Yeah.
Sometimes my autocorrect screws me up. Sometimes it puts.
I didn't mean to put FUCK. I meant to say shoot.
Sometimes my autocorrect, gets me wrong, and sometimes my tone, like if I can't put all of the words in there, you know what I mean? Then I become a little bit more short and curt.
Yes.
And I feel like some
misinterpreted.
conversations absolutely have to be spoken about.
Yeah.
You can't just text it because that changes the vibe.
Yes.
You can read a text message in 75 different ways.
Yeah.
And it's how you are accepting that message, right?
Where you're at the time of reading that message.
If I'm mad and you send me an okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did she say okay? Or did she say okay?
Yeah.
Or did she say K?
Yeah.
Because what are you K?
Yeah. Valid. But again, it sounds ridiculous, but it's so true.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm the worst for the thumbs up. Because I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
everybody is like, you're such a jerk.
Yeah. Well, because a thumbs up is like, sure.
Okay, sure, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever. No, but I would rather talk it out.
Worst.
Yeah, I would rather talk it out. Also, I also don't we talked about this last time. Don't voice note me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't voice note. Okay, so I'm not voice noting you back.
No.
I don't. I text you back.
Yeah. Especially in a fight.
In a fight. Yeah.
Solo convo, or are you bringing the crew? Like, are you looking? You're always the mediator.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even. You're always the mediator that goes into save people's relationships. Are you all about the solo conversation, or are you about bringing people together and having a group dynamic discussion?
Yeah. I think it would depend. If the issue's between two people in a friend group, then solo, right?
Yeah.
If it is again, a group dynamic, then I think we would we have done the round table. We have absolutely done the round table.
Yeah.
Then the round table is necessary, but I don't want to add more drama if it really needs to be between two or
by getting your crew involved.
Yeah, by getting your crew involved. Yeah, man. That's just gonna create even more drama. Yeah.
Are you, I know this one already, but are you a peacemaker or are you a space needer? Do you want to get it done and over with? Or do you need to take personal space? Because that also can change a vibe.
Yeah.
Completely, especially in an altercation. If one person, because I'm just get it done and over with and just want to get it
and be done.
Yeah, and be done. But some people need to take space to comprehend what's happening or to review, the whole scenario, process their feelings. Yeah. That to me is too much.
Yeah.
That to me is
we're doing too much, guys.
I've given you 5 minutes.
Yeah. Let's get on it.
Just tell me what's going on so that we can move on or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got things to do.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe that's where I get caught up bad, but I feel like you're the space.
I'm the space. Yeah.
You need to.
I need to process.
Sit.
Yeah. I need to think about it. I need to understand what is the, what is the perspective? Yeah. I do it in everything. Okay, let me think about this. Let me think about what's the side. But I agree with you around not creating longevity around addressing an issue.
Yeah.
Right? There is promptness. We just need to also get this over with and be dealt with. But I'm definitely someone that needs to take a step back and be like, okay, this is what's happening, or this is what was said, or this is what I experienced, and then keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm with you. There is a short period of time of which something needs to just be done and dealt with. And if it needs to continue, well, then at that point, you're just on your own island, just doing the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's for you.
Okay, and my last one.
Yeah.
Do you think that betrayal can be forgiven?
Woo! I feel like it depends on what the betrayal is. Honestly, I feel like it depends on what the betrayal is.
What's the worst betrayal for you?
You know what would be the worst betrayal for me is for someone, what would be the worst betrayal? For someone who is my friend to say that I'm not a good friend. Honestly, that would like, and to like say it behind my back. Like if I found that someone's like, oh,
Mm.
Aisha's not really a good friend. That would actually really bother me because I genuinely show up for my friends. Like I
Yeah.
really believe in friendship. I believe in nurturing relationships. Like I believe in like I'm that one who's like checking in. Is everything okay? Like,
Yeah.
and if you were to turn around, not you, if someone were to turn around and be like, yo, she's a fake friend, or that
would
I'd be
really
like,
hurt
bet.
you.
Yeah. I'd be like, cool.
Yeah.
No problem.
I think my biggest betrayal.
Yeah.
And I had to learn this over the years
Mhm.
because I have been betrayed.
Yeah.
I think for me,
Mhm.
if everybody else knows but me, like if everybody else knows something about my life or like
Ooh.
something that's happening
Yeah.
and I'm the last person to know and you guys are my friends and you're keeping it from me and it directly like affects my
you.
life.
Yeah.
I think that to me is like one of the biggest betrayals.
Okay, let me ask you this. Not that this is actually happening. What if this is a hard one. And I agree with you, but I think what if what somebody or the person knows could harm you, like in a way that it could be a detriment? Like what I'm trying to say is like if somebody had something or if we knew something, and we don't know something, so let me just caveat that right now. Okay, there's nothing that we know, but I'm just saying if we knew something that by sharing it with you, it would literally like could potentially destroy you. Not, and when I say destroy, I don't mean like physically. I just mean like just really negative.
Let me know.
Let you know. Okay.
Let me know.
Okay.
I'm the kind of if something is going to affect me,
True. That's fair.
and it's gonna like change my life path.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you're
allow me
to
make the decisions for myself of how I want to move forward.
Fair. That's totally fair.
And I mean, this happened to me. Everybody knew something that I didn't know. And then I was the last person to find out. And I actually have never felt more betrayed than in that moment. And I think that for me, I mean, honesty for me is such a huge thing. Like honesty, and honesty can't always happen.
Yeah.
I understand that. Like some people are just not capable of being vulnerable enough to be honest like that and have that like totally open door to your soul, basically. Like some people are not like that. But that kind of betrayal for me is unforgivable. Yeah. And there's people I will hold the grudge.
Yeah.
I will hold your vibes with me will forever be off.
Changed. Yeah,
like I will never be able to. I'm not a forgiver in that sense. There's a lot of things that I have forgiven. There's a lot of things that I do, and I think that that's really important just for like your own self-preservation.
Absolutely, you
have to be able to forgive people. But that one I can't. Yeah, I can't. It's like a non-negotiable for me. Yeah. If you knew something that was going to affect my life that much and you chose not to tell me, and you were part of my direct friend group,
no, that's totally fair. You're right, because what you're doing is you're taking that person's choice or that power away. And I guess I was just thinking, like, you know, as friends, you don't want to see your friends hurt, but you're absolutely right. Like, there's more hurt in not giving that person the opportunity to be like, listen, this is what's happening, and then them being able to manage it or deal with it or figure it out. Yeah, no, that's fair. And I will say also about the betrayal piece, the forgiveness piece, I think you might be able to forgive, but I feel like the nature of the friendship could change. Absolutely. Right? So like where they now ranked or how you engage with them, you might forgive the betrayal depending on what it is, or you might not, because it depends on what that betrayal was. But I do say that there will be a total shift in that relationship, which again could then impact the friend group, right?
Totally.
For sure.
Totally it does. Yeah. Friends are weird.
Friendship is it's a lot.
It can be a lot. And we spend an hour really talking about it, but like we could unpack this for days. We could unpack relationships for days. It's
you know what just came to mind? It's like even in a friend group, if you have like a friend, like, so there's like a friend group, but then there is like the like longevity of a friendship, but like then there's a friend that people no longer like, but nobody wants to say that they don't like that person. Like there's a group of 10 of us, right? And there's one person in the group that we no longer like, but nobody wants to be the one to say that we don't like them, even though they need to exit. That just came to mind. Like, what do you do? Like, that's again, the vibes are off. That's a big shift. I'm not saying that's real, guys. Listen, I feel like
it's been real.
Yeah, it's been real.
It's been real before.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been real before.
I mean, it's not real right now, but it has absolutely been real. Where someone comes in, you're like,
and you just don't like them.
Yeah.
You just don't like them anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm that person.
No, why do you always do that? Why do you always do that? You're not that person.
Well, if I was invited places.
Oh, geez.
No, I'm joking. No, but we have had that where like, you know, somebody just doesn't mesh anymore. Or they become like into something. You know what? Friends change the vibes.
What?
I almost said something that would like just really out me there. When they get involved in something like a multi-level marketing scheme or something, and they're like, and then that's the only thing that they talk to you about, and like you've bought their makeup.
Yeah, I've done all the things.
You've bought their skin serum. You've bought their fizzies,
their tonic.
You've bought
their,
all the. I have bought all the fat wraps. I have bought more fat wraps than I know what to do.
Well, we heard episode 1.
No, but like people, the multi-level marketing schemes love me because I'm like, give me all the fat wraps. But that screws up the friendship, and we have had to kick people out of the zone. Yeah, because we can only buy so much from you, and you can only be a boss babe for so long.
Yeah, and it's too much.
Listen, I can't.
No, I'm with you. That's.
But we have had to exit. People due to the constant sale of product at every social event that we've been to,
or just doing too much, like just.
There's only so many tights that we can buy from you. I only have 2 legs. You know, like
there's only so much. But again, like it's okay. So this segues into like one of our last few questions. So recognizing that again, there can be a shift in a friend group, that there's fallouts. What's one lesson you've learned from a friendship fallout?
Oh, I've learned so many.
It doesn't have to be.
I more so every single time something happens, I learn a little bit more about myself. And I either learn that I am allowing people into my space that shouldn't be in my space, or that I'm doing too much. Like I'm giving too much of myself to the point of discomfort for myself. And then I start to lose it. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
So I think for me, the fallout of friendships is really more so learning about myself.
That's a great one.
I think that's what happens with me is it makes me take a look at myself, because sometimes I just kind of go. Yeah. And I have a personality that some people love and some people hate. Yeah. And I think that is something that I've had to learn from my friendship fallouts, that sometimes I can be too much. Sometimes I can be too blunt. Sometimes I can be too honest. Sometimes I can be too confrontational, like things like that. And anytime a friendship has had a fallout, it has been a good time for me to do self-reflection.
To be like, what? Okay.
And I mean, do I mourn the loss of those friends? Some of them. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Some of them, I feel a sense of like revitalization in my life, you know? Sometimes I feel.
Thank you for my space and time back. Yeah, fair.
Thank you, because I was doing too much. Yeah. And I was putting myself out. And I've done that also in friend groups, like always been the hoster, always been because I was in events for so long, it was expected to do it. You're going to host everything. You're going to plan the events. You're going to do all the decorations. You're going to do all the food. You're going to buy all the things. And I think I never said no. Yeah. And I think that in a friendship group, you can kind of get caught into that.
Of course.
Of being the person that everybody relies on to do these kinds of things. Yeah. And then when you say,
no, thank you.
Bueno, you know, like I don't want to do that anymore, it can put you in a really vulnerable position. Yeah. And then you have to do some introspective work.
But that's a great one. That's a great one, because I think, again, in maturity And in friendships, right, you evolve. We evolve. Who you were 10 years ago looks different to who we are now. And we're not always going to vibe. Like a friend group isn't always the fundamentals, yes, but there will always be shifts. But I think I love that is a great opportunity to also think about like, how am I either positively or maybe negatively impacting this friend group? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I also part of the shift? Am I creating issues? Or, you know, and if I am, okay, well then what do I need to do better? Yeah, no, that's a great one. I really do like that. Yeah.
I really wanted to ask you this
Yes.
question, and I highlighted it for myself
Yes.
because like I really want to ask you this.
Oh, right here.
What kind of friend do you need right now in your life? In the point that you're at in your life at this time, what do you feel you need as a friendship from like individual friends, but also from your friend group? Because you're doing so many things right now. And I did talk to my mom about this morning. So you can't do these things for your friends because your friends ain't always going to support you. And when you put yourself out, like the podcast and your individual podcast, our podcast together, the organization that you're working with, and you know, the things that you're doing in the community, all of the things that you're out here doing, I know people see what you're doing. And I'm going to speak on behalf of a friend because like you guys are haters and I hate that word, but I see the incredible things that you do in the community. And we have done incredible things together. And I find that we have to do it not for our friends.
Yeah.
And what kind of friend do you need right now?
Ooh, that's you came with, I feel like the kind of friend that I need right now is someone who, or just the kind of friend that I need in my life is someone who sees me for me in the sense of who I am is not based on how I, you know, like the work that I do in the community. I mean, that's great. Like I want to be supported, but I just want people to, the kind of friend that I want is someone that just genuinely is invested in me, like as Aisha. Right? Aisha as like the friend, Aisha as the mom, Aisha as the worker, Aisha as the entrepreneur. Someone that just genuinely is interested in me and isn't connected to me because, oh, okay, she's on this platform, or I see she has this many Instagram, you know what I mean? Like I don't need the fake friend.
Yeah.
I don't need the fake friend. I deeply value friendships. So I just want people who genuinely like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That sounds maybe like elementary like, but like, you know, you go to elementary and you just meet someone and you're like, they're just a nice person.
They're just a nice person.
And I like to hang with them. That's the kind of friend I like. Like just someone that likes to hang, that, you know, wants to talk and not like do too much talking because, you know, like, but you know what I mean? Like just someone that just genuinely likes me. Right?
Yeah.
Which sounds,
I get it.
Yeah, maybe.
No. It's not elementary at all because like you do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And we don't even talk about the podcast until Friday night. We talk about the podcast and we're like, man, we don't even have a script.
Yeah.
And we have to, but that's not what we talk about.
Yeah.
And I do want to say, I was a little peeved.
Yes.
That you did not tell me that you were nominated.
Oh.
But it's because we really like, we talk about so many other things and we talk about so many other things that are happening in our lives.
Yeah.
Sometimes she forgets to include me in some of her big wins. And then I see it online and I'm like,
I got a text on Friday like, you didn't tell me that you were nominated. I know.
And that I was a little mad about because I am a big cheerleader.
Yes, you are.
I am a cheerleader in all elements of your life.
Yeah.
But I do know that sometimes like it just is, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of things that you do.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the fact that you want somebody just to be there for you as Aisha.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just as
I said absolutely.
Jesus. Yeah. But you know what? I feel like this is the first time you said absolutely.
No, I did say it before and I caught myself and I'll probably, think about it for the next 6 weeks. Because I
actually didn't hear it.
I do that.
I actually didn't hear it.
This is what best friends do, guys.
Yeah.
And there's only one other person that I will allow to call her best friend.
Oh my God,
Just
that is
Just so
maybe
you know.
stay tuned for that topic because that's a hilarious conversation that we have all the time. When a
do.
friend calls the best friend a best friend, you're like,
You ain't her best friend.
you ain't her best friend.
But no, but there is somebody. There's at least one, maybe two.
Yeah.
But like I'm going with one right now.
Yeah.
That I will allow to call you best
Yes.
friend.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Yeah.
And I'm never gonna get involved.
Yeah.
And I actually really like her.
Yeah.
Like I love her.
Yeah.
I think that she's great.
Yeah.
But some of them. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Cut. I love you all.
She does. Listen, Bey is she's the Joker. She loves everyone. Well, no, let me take it back. She doesn't love everyone.
No.
No.
And you don't have to.
No.
And it's going to be okay. I think that like when you come into your friendship space, and we'll just close on this. When you come into your friendship space, not everybody has to be your friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People can be very comfortable being acquaintances.
Yeah. That's actually
People can be very comfortable being coworkers and like people that you see that you enjoy.
Yeah.
But you don't have an actual friendship. With them. And I think that we have to stop saying that everybody's your friend because not everybody is for you.
No,
but we have to be comfortable with like people just being in your life and like being acquaintances and still
because
being
friends
good
with your
for
friends.
you.
Yeah, because they're friends with your friends.
And like
and they're cool.
Yeah.
No,
let's all just get along.
It's true. And I think that is the sign of maturity.
Yeah.
In that there's basic respect, but like not everybody needs to be your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that is
and
the perfect way.
Bring good vibes only.
Yeah, please.
Try and bring good vibes to the table. We'll talk about this again.
Yeah.
I know we will talk about this again. But
100%.
try and bring your good vibes.
Yeah. And if your vibes are off, like stay at the door, please. Honest to God. Yeah. There's enough nonsense to deal with every day that we don't need to deal with. Like, just have a lot of self-awareness. If you know your vibes are off, you know what? Excuse yourself. Go in the bathroom, shift the energy, and then come back good.
Yeah. Okay. Get a crystal or something.
Yeah. A little smudge.
Yeah, smudge yourself.
A little smudge yourself. If not,
sage.
your girls are going to hold you accountable, right?
Raise your vibrations.
Yeah, please. And thank you. Right?
Have a great week, guys.
Have a great week. This has been another episode of Bes-T.E.A Spillin. I always want to say Spilling Time with Tea.
I know.
I don't know why.
I expect you to say it wrong, actually.
Yeah.
Spilling tea
from time.
Bes-T.E.A.
Bes-T.E.A.
Follow us on Instagram. Like, share.
Do all the things.
Subscribe to YouTube.
All the things.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Have a good week.